everyone, and welcome to another glazed fire opening from my studio, the Pottery Corner, down on the south coast of England near Chichester. So today we have another glaze fire opening, mostly students' work. I don't think there's anything of mine in here, but we will have a look. So you know I've had a sneaky peek because I always have to. And very excitingly, on the top of this kiln is another one of Janet's beautiful bird baths. So again, it's a very large piece, and I always have slight kittens over firing very large pieces of students' work. So I'm going to lift it out, and there you are. So this has been done. This green on here is Aurora green from Amaco, and down the side she's left the very bottom of the bowl just raw clay. So this is Aurora green around here from Amaco, and then inside it's Amaco's Downpour, which is that lovely blue. And then she has again moulded some flowers and animals and bees and her signature snails. Look at these, aren't they gorgeous? These are done in Palladium. So that's almost like a mirror finish, almost like chrome. We have a drunken snail. Sometimes that happens because Janet sticks things with glaze rather than moulding them on when she's making. So sometimes we end up with a drunken snail. But actually we quite like the drunken snail. He's quite nice. And then there's a little ladybird there, and the bumblebees and the butterflies. All beautifully done. The butterflies have been painted in underglaze and then covered in a transparent glaze to make them waterproof. And I mean, a really super piece. And as I say, you know, it just gives me kittens every time we do one, but it's very beautiful. And actually, let's pop that down there. Janet did have a quick sneaky peek in the kiln yesterday before she went home, so she has seen it. And she just needs to be very, very proud of making a piece like that, because it's a lot of work, a lot of weeks of classes of work to actually make that. There's quite a lot of these little flowers in the kiln. Some of them will be attached to the cookies, but my sister has made these. Carol, these are your flowers, and she's going to make a picture, which is actually a very good idea, to stick them on a canvas. So have like a fade of different coloured purples. This is mulberry, Amaco's mulberry, and actually this is an underglaze pigment that we've mixed with transparent glaze to get this nice sort of violet colour, which she's wanting to match with her curtains in the bathroom. So that will look really nice when it's done, and when she's finished it, I'm hoping that she'll let me have it. So there's rather a number of them, as you can see, and there's more in the bottom of the kiln, so I'll sort those out. I think that'll look really nice actually on a canvas, and have the flowers fading. She can just stick them on with a glue gun. Very good idea. Right, Emma used Arctic Blue. Arctic Blue, Amaco's Arctic Blue, being my least favourite of any glaze ever. Now, this bit is Amaco something or other, grey matte I think it's called. I might be corrected on that, stand corrected on that. This is an ashtray that Emma has made for her she shed. So lovely red nails. I'm still not sure about the Amaco Arctic Blue. Jury's out on that one for me. But nonetheless, it's come through the kiln okay. So that's the first layer. Oh, now that's interesting, lovely. Okay, get the props out. We don't like those, do we? We don't like those old props. They're a pain when they fall on things. Right, okay, Janet again, this is one of yours. That looks like lustrous jade. It's got palladium on the rim, as you can see, and the palladium has lovely pulled really prettily. And she's used one of my, that's just got a cookie on the bottom that won't come off. I'll knock it off in a minute. Used one of the studio textured stamps, which has this nice flower motif on. which actually came from a charity shop find by one of the other students, so we made a sprig from it, and everybody uses it, so it's really nice. And that's Amaco's light sepia on there, so it's light sepia, Palladium on the rim, which is very nicely gone down into the lustrous jade inside. So that's rather nice glaze combination on that. This is the other of the pair. The texture shows up much better on this one, so you can actually see the flowers much better. This is mulberry, and again I think she's used lustrous jade on the inside. Interestingly, where the mulberry and the jade have touched, quite a nice sort of bluey colour. I don't know if you can see that on there. Just on that little bit of overlap. Rather nice that. Okay, so that's those. This is a little bowl of Jane's, and that is Blue Midnight and something. Maybe it's just Blue Midnight. Oh no, I tell a lie, that's Storm. That's Amaco Celadon Glaze Storm, and that comes out that nice sort of navy blue colour. This is also Jane's. So this is a Heartly and Noble heart-shaped form, which one of the students has used, and then she's used, we've got some wooden textured block stamps upstairs that we use. And this one is obviously of a flower. That's come out really nicely. So this is Amaco's Glacier, and she's used a copper oxide on the leaves and wiped it back. And then this is Weeping Plum with mulberry in the outline and a little dot of pear in the middle. I think that's really very pretty. I'm sure Jane will be delighted with that. Nice shaped dish, obviously. Yeah, very nice. I'm sure she'll be pleased with that. There's a couple of little hearts. Those are Rainforest. The girls make these hearts and then they hang them on strings, so they have them in the garden. Quite pretty. There's some more of Carol's flowers. As I say, there's quite a few of those. Quite a good kiln filler. Let's get the cookies out. Right, Leslie, my friend. Here is ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, Wally the whale. So, here we go. This is a salt made by Leslie. And I should know what he is. Is he a whale shark? She's going to tell me off because I should remember what it is. I think he's a whale shark. And he's been done in Amaco Snow on the belly and Amaco Cobalt on the top. And then she did indent some spots on him and then spotted them on with a henna bottle filled with the snow. That's come out really nice, beautiful blue. And the spots on it are really nice, Leslie, really good. And he sits on his front fins and you put salt inside and there's a spoon further down the kiln, which we'll get to. Very nice, lovely blue, beautiful. So he's always like the personality of these things. This is a little tester disc that I made for my slips, coloured slips. Because obviously with the mono printing it's quite useful to know what the slip colour looks like once it's been fired and covered in a transparent glaze. So that's really an aide-memoire for me, but obviously the students use the slips as well, so it's quite useful to have. It's very interesting that the violet, which is this one here, and the pink almost go to nothing. So that's very interesting. So that means I need to put more pigment into that mix because it's really light, whereas the same amount of pigment in the what's that one called, Tango, in the Tango is really bright, but on the pink it's almost gone, and indeed on the violet is almost gone, although on the violet actually it has made a nice sort of silver grey. So that's really just an aide-memoire for me, and those of you who watch my videos regularly will know test tile, test tile, test tile, as I always say. So let's just lift that out from there. Okay, and in here are an awful lot of my sister's flowers and little Wally's spoon. So here's little Wally's spoon, which has got a prop on it which I will just need to knock off. So this is the spoon decorated in the same colourway as the whale shark. So that bit goes inside there to get the salt out. rather lovely. Lovely little spoon, and I'll just knock the rest off. So, get these flowers out. Gosh me, there's rather a lot of them. So there's those. I'm hoping that they're not actually stuck to these, some of them will be, but I'll just take them off gently. So you can see the difference between the violet pigment and the Amaco mulberry there. Slightly different tones, which I think will be good if she's going to be putting them on a picture in a fade kind of pattern. There's some more hearts in here. These are Diane's, and again that's that flower sprig. So as I say, the students use that one quite a lot. That one is Weeping Plum. Quite nice hanging in the garden. You could be quite creative with the the rope that you use or the twine that you use. That one is mulberry. Put beads and things, found items, buttons, upcycle your button box. Okay, Louise, finally your dinner plates are finished. So that one has got a very, very slight crack in the back of it, but interestingly not on the front, so good, happy days. These are, well, they started off as Blue Lagoon and Blue Sapphire, which is what I think this one is, with jasper, ancient jasper on the rim. And it, as we've said before, comes out this lovely galaxy colour. But that's interesting that we have a crack here, and in fact just a tiny little bit on there. But actually it's not transmitted itself to the front of the plate, so happy days. So that's the second to last of those. The last one is on the bottom shelf. And I just take the rest of these flowers out. 1 and 2, that's all of those. And then take this bottom shelf out. Lovely, right, okay. So there's some more of Diane's hearts. These are Amaco pear. Quite like Amaco pear. It's a nice bright green. I like it better than the wasabi. Not so keen on wasabi, but the pear is really nice. And I suspect those are either jade or true Celadon. I think they're jade. They might be true Celadon. But again, that lovely heart sprig, the flower sprig. It's an amazing way you can find texture. And actually it's interesting how you can be quite so obsessed with texture as we are. And I love it when the students come in with buttons with interesting texture and things. So Louise, this is the last of your dinner plates, finally. So that one, I think, has got the tourmaline on the base because it's a slightly different colour.